Hey everyone. So I haven't posted any kind of content in a long time, and the reason that I'm making this video, I could list all the reasons why I haven't created content in a long time, from the fact that we just moved from Portland to a rural area in Washington that we're now living in, getting housework done, managing my chronic illness that some of you do and don't know about, still undiagnosed there. But the real reason I'm making this video is to talk to you guys about Jesus Christ. That is right. That's something that I thought I would have been saying as a joke, honestly, probably about a year ago. A lot of people have noticed that I have changed a lot of beliefs recently, and I am posting a lot of information about Jesus. And so this is my testimonial with that. This is basically the story about why and how that happened, and I'm going to try to get through this as much as possible. I like to go, as quick as possible. I like to go off on rants about things. It's kind of hard for me not to, and I only have 26 minutes on my camera roll, so yeah, I'm just gonna try to make this as short and sweet as possible, with also sharing with you guys as much detail, because I'm getting a lot of questions all the time of why am I suddenly posting about Jesus and where do I stand. I first want to start by saying this video is not made to convert anyone to any kind of belief or religion or anything like that. This is purely and simply the energy of Christ coming through me, wanting to share my experience and my love for him, and how I came to believe in this in the first place and what it has done for me. So this isn't about anyone judging anyone or proving anyone wrong, and it's definitely not about religion. In fact, I don't believe in religion, so let's just cut ties there. And I also ask that you try to keep an open mind. If this is something that you're wanting to watch and you're curious about, just keep an open mind about where I'm coming from, and try not to be in the mindset of thinking that we know everyone's experience with Jesus just based off of, negative experiences that we might have had in the past. So, once again, for me, this is just a celebration and a sharing, and hopefully some inspiration or clarity, maybe even for any of you who may also be going through a transition or feel a transition like this coming on, or if you're even just curious. So basically what happened to me was, it really starts back when I was really sick after getting food poisoning. So about a year and a half ago now, I got a really, really bad case of food poisoning exactly 2 weeks before my birthday, and it lasted for 2 entire weeks, including on my birthday. I was very sick. I did not know that you could get, I'd never had food poisoning, first of all, and I did not know that you could get as sick as I did from food poisoning. I did not know that you could die from it. And so it was just kind of an experience where I guess anyone that's had food poisoning, you don't have it 1 second and all of a sudden it's hell, pretty much. I ended up having Chinese food, which is something that I don't usually eat. I got chicken from a Chinese food place, and I got what we can only guess was extremely bad salmonella food poisoning, and it just was not fun. I was suffering as much as you could suffer for 2 weeks on end. I only got 1 hour of sleep within a full 2-week period. Don't even ask me how it's possible to survive that long without sleep, but apparently it is, because it happened to me. And so basically after that, as you can imagine, my insides, like anyone who's had a stomach bug for a day or 2 or 3 days, max, afterwards your stomach, your organs inside, they feel all messed up and sore and achy, and your stomach hurts. So you can only imagine what it's like after 2 straight weeks of the most severe pain and getting sick that one possibly could get, how that felt. So basically, for like the first month or two after I got sick, I knew that something wasn't right immediately after I stopped being sick with food poisoning. Like, my symptoms just weren't going away, and I all of a sudden had all of these gastrointestinal issues and pains and bloating and all different kinds of issues that I had never had before, constantly every day. And I kept going to the doctors and asking, is this normal? And the doctors kept, with very bad advice, kept trying to assure me that it was normal because I had such a bad case of food poisoning that it was just going to take some time to heal. And it was always, give it another month, give it another month, give it another month, until many months pass by and your symptoms are not only not going away, but they're getting worse. And I was developing all different kinds of new symptoms, like pretty much any symptom that you can list. I had it, I have it, I have had it. And it's just been a roller coaster like that for the past year and a half. But particularly like the first 8 months of me being sick, it got so bad. I was looking for help everywhere. I was going to many different doctors, nutritionalists. I'm very into holistic healing, still am. And so I went to holistic doctors, and literally no one could give me answers. I got tested for everything under the sun, got so much blood work done, tried so many different diets and everything, and literally nothing was helping me at all. And I got to the point where, for at least like a 6-month period there, my symptoms got so bad that I felt like I was dying. Every single day I felt like I was dying, and I was having to work through the fear of death and the uncomfortability of just not knowing what's wrong and not knowing if I'm doing the right thing or taking care of myself. And all my doctors were turning away from me. Every time I went to the emergency room, they'd just, send me right back home and say that I was fine, when clearly I was not. And I was basically bedridden for at least a 6-month period. I could barely open my eyes. Sometimes I had such bad brain fog, I couldn't even think like thoughts to myself. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't get up to go to the bathroom by myself. My partner, God bless his soul, had to take care of me through that entire experience and was literally like lifting me up to help me to go to the bathroom and walk to different rooms and make me food and everything. And I was just at a loss. I was living in a space of death. I felt like I was dead, but I was trapped in a body, and I was still existing on this earth, but I couldn't even focus on the room around me when I opened my eyes. Like, everything was just really blurry, and I was very like dissociated because of how much physical discomfort I was in and the symptoms that I was having. And when you experience something like that for so long, it kind of brings you into this place of blackness and darkness. And there was several times where I was so sick that I had near-death experiences just laying in my bed at home. And during one of those experiences, I was just questioning to myself, why is it I'm so set in my spiritual beliefs, those beliefs being what I would now refer to as New Age beliefs. Why are none of my beliefs, why are none of my spirit guides, why is literally like nothing and no one there to help me, like not even to bring me comfort through the thoughts and the fear of death? Like, why is nothing happening? And I was just in this black hole where I felt like I was about to die. That's the best way I could explain it. And I'm laying in bed with my eyes closed, and I'm going over all of this in my head, and I'm like, I can't believe all of this stuff that I've believed for so long and honestly helped me so much through many different points of my life, or so I thought. Why is none of that here to help me now? And it was just very lonely and very dark, and I ended up experiencing what I would now relate to as a version of hell. where it's like you're in this space, because I had so many like what I see now as like misplaced belief systems that won't hold up when it comes to you dying, or when it comes to somebody suffering in the way that I was, or like you get into a car accident or something, you know, like you're going through a really big trial in your life that's life-threatening. When something like that comes up, you'll realize that all of the mantras, all of the spiritual ideas that were there for you before, all the spirit guides and angels, like they're not there for you in that space. That's what I realized. That is the experience that I had. And when I was sitting in that blackness contemplating that, I literally saw Jesus in my head. He just came through and he was just basically like, I am here. You are my child. And look at all this distance that is between us. You have been placing your beliefs in all of these things, and your energy and all of these things that are not real. They're not everlasting. They're not the ultimate truth like I am. And I was honestly so confused, guys, because at this point in time, other than the fact that my beliefs were no longer helping me, and the practices that I was practicing were no longer helping me to get through what I was getting through, I wasn't calling out for any of this to happen or come, nor was I expecting it, you know? Nor was it something I honestly wanted. Like, I didn't find Jesus. Jesus literally found me. Jesus literally came to me, and when I was in the darkest place you could possibly be. And it's like when life and all the choices you've made and what you believe in can no longer help you, you realize how temporary it all is. And in that temporariness, the only thing that was there, the only thing that was real, the only thing that showed up and had permanent grounds, that's the best way I can describe it. I feel like these aren't the best terms to be sharing this with you guys, but the only thing that was true was Jesus, and I didn't know why, and I was so confused for so long, and I'm still figuring out what my experiences with these things. But that happened probably about a year ago now. Around a year ago is when that happened, and it's taken me this long because I was so fully invested in the new age and in all of these old belief systems and things that were helping me before, that I honestly grew such a strong love for, that nothing could have come in between that. If you mentioned the name to me of Jesus before, it's not that I necessarily would have been judgmental towards someone talking about these things, but also it's like at the same time there's always those like judgments in the back of your head of like, oh, this person just doesn't have it figured out yet, or this person's not seeing the full picture. Oh, I've been there, honey. I have been there. I have been on the ascension path, the new age path, for a decade now, for 10 years, and I went as fully into those beliefs as you could, and I completely rejected the idea of God in the way that I believe in him now, and Jesus specifically, I completely rejected it. I was like, okay, even if that is real, even if Jesus is real, that doesn't really have to do much with my life, and I can choose my own way, and I don't need that to help me. There's all these other nuances and things that help me. And so yeah, and there's so many lies caught up in that. Whatever ideas that pretty much everyone, especially in the new age, has thought about those things, trust me, I went into that for many years. But in my experience, Jesus Christ came to me and he told me that he was basically like, I'm here to help you. I want to show you that I'm here and that this is real, but I need you to listen to me and I need you to trust me. And he's like, hey, you need to start following me. And he was like, I know you're in a bad way right now, but I need you to give your energy to that as much as you can throughout this process, and I'm going to help you. Secondly, I was like, God, what do I do to help, to help myself? And he told me, he said, I can help you, but sometimes there's things that I need you to also do physically yourself, in order to contribute to that. And he was like, I'm going to show you through you following this information. You've done all these diets, you've gone all these doctors, you've done all this medicine, all these cleanses. Nothing has helped, but he's like, this is going to help heal you and get you out of bed and restore some of the life back into you, even though it's still going to be a challenge. And I was like, okay, I was honestly in disbelief about it, but I couldn't deny the experience that I had, and I knew that I had to pursue that divine intervention and try to figure out what that meant. And guys, I went from every day being stuck in my bed, unable to breathe, unable to think for myself, literally dying, to actually within like the first week of trying that information, I was able to breathe again. I was able to start thinking for myself again. I was able to get up and just start walking to the bathroom again, which these are things that you won't ever understand until, God forbid, any of you ever get chronically ill in the way that I have and suffer in the way that I have. You just won't fully understand how much of an accomplishment after many months of not being able to do anything it is to literally just be able to get up and go to the bathroom or brush your teeth by yourself. That's a huge thing that we take for granted all the time. And yeah, so that has continued to prove to me also that Jesus Christ is real. There's something here. There's so many things I can't explain yet, but I just want to share with you what God wants me to share with you guys, which is my experience and how real this is and how much of a blessing this energy is when you invite him into your life, and you don't have to understand it all. You don't have to be perfect. You can start here now and have this amazing perfect relationship with him. And if you just put him before everything, which is what he told me to do, he's like, when he came to me, he said, don't put anything else before me. When you do that, it creates all of this distance between me and you, and then I can't help you. And it's not because I'm not always here for you. It's because you have chosen to put all these other things, all these other belief systems before me. And it doesn't even necessarily mean that there was something wrong with every single thing that I was believing or every single thing in New Age, but it has to do with us putting our egos, what we want for ourselves first, our own thoughts, our own ideas of who God is before who he actually is. And that's what I've learned through this experience, something I never would have accepted before, because the New Age completely turns you against all of what I'm saying as to even be a possibility, that there is just one like more straight and narrow path than we want to imagine. Because the New Age path is just whatever you want to believe, whatever you want to be, and whenever you want to be it. And we can find truth and evidence in all of these things. And that's why I stayed on that path for so long, because I was living that life. I found all the proof and all the evidence in the world that there was truth in a lot of these things. But the difference is in me finding Jesus, the best way that I can explain it is those things, for whatever reason, because I'm not God, I can't tell you what reason, for whatever reason, when we put those things before the idea of Jesus Christ, before God, it creates distance between us and him, and he can't help us in the ways that he wants to. Does that mean that I'm saying that there is a heaven and a hell? Guys, I'm not here to answer these questions for you. Once again, I'm not God, and I can tell you from experience that even people that do label themselves as Christian, Catholic, whatever, people that follow the Bible and believe in Jesus, no one ever fully actually knows the real truth of these things and what these Bible verses actually mean. There's some that seem more straightforward than others, but that doesn't mean anyone actually fully understands these things. God wants us to be in mystery about these things. Like, that's the whole point in finding Christ, is to be able to rest yourself. It's like, you don't need to know everything, and you don't need to even know that you don't know everything, which was my belief, like, in the New Age. It's like, I don't know anything, and therefore I know everything. It's just like, also within that belief, people are always trying to search for something, always trying to meditate and realign your chakras and rely on this crystal, rely on that thing. When we do that, I'm not saying these things are necessarily bad. I can't say X, Y, or Z for you guys, but I'm just sharing how this has been shown to me, which is when we put those things first to help us find peace, we're constantly chasing something, and those things might provide us some temporary medicine, but then you have to keep doing them over and over again, and it's just like a quench. It's a thirst that can't be quenched. A quench that can't be thirst. A thirst that can't be quenched. And we're constantly having to do these rituals and all of these things, and what Jesus Christ provides for you, for me, is rest, and not needing to even do those things anymore, because the power of God, which is beyond comprehension, he can literally choose to do anything at any time, is always here for us to connect to and take us under his wing and protect us. And that is what this energy has brought into my life, is just so much protection and rest. And literally all I can tell you guys is when it comes to dying and your life really being on the line, you're going through something like that, it really brings out a lot of truth in things, whether we understand them or not, or whether it's what we want to believe or not. This is my own will aside, because my own will tells me there's so many other possibilities. Oh, just keep believing in the new age, just, whatever it may be. But in that is denying this very clear and obvious experience, divine intervention that I had with Jesus Christ, where he came to me and he couldn't have been any clearer. And he also has shown me proof through what he told me to do to heal myself, getting better. And he's like, see, I told you. I'm real, I'm here, keep going and keep listening to me. And I truly believe when we place that energy before everything, that energy is everlasting. And if anything ever happens to you, that's going to be the real thing that is there for you, the real person, however you choose to see it. Jesus Christ, God, one and the same, the Son of God, is always there for you. And I don't know why it is like this. I don't have the answers. Once again, I cannot stress enough, this is just the experience that I had, and I won't ignore that for anything. And I've received so much proof over the past few months that I am headed in the right direction, and that the energy of Jesus Christ is so very real, and it is the thing that I was missing from my life that I didn't know I was missing, because at the time, before this divine intervention happened, I didn't think I was missing anything. I didn't think I needed anything. In fact, I was very set in my beliefs. I was very rested and peaceful with the beliefs that I had. But when it comes down to it, I was dying. I was literally dying, and all I can say is none of those things were there to help me. And when you're in that place of darkness and deep fear, it really can open the door for you to let the voice of God through in a way that you might have denied it for so long, beyond all reason, beyond your own will. Because we're very willed beings. As humans, we are very strong-willed beings, and we like to believe what we believe and how we want to believe it. And one of the biggest lies that I've found, once again, is just thinking that there's no way that there could be one path, because everything that's happening around us is so deceiving. It's constantly trying to turn us against the idea of Christ, and there's been such a bad name painted in the name of God, and there's been so many misrepresentations as who he is, and misinterpretations of Bible verses and stuff, that it paints a really bad name, to the point where people don't even like hearing the name of Jesus because it's so triggering. And let me tell you, if you feel that way, I was there at one point. I was 100% there for many, many, many years, and that's a whole part of the reason I chose to let go of the religion that I grew up with, which was believing in Jesus and being Catholic, and to move into the New Age. And I found so much proof that the things that I believed were truth. They had truth in them, but that doesn't mean that they were right, and that doesn't mean that I was actually supposed to be practicing certain things that go against the will of God. And that's truly what I believe that I was doing now through my own experience. Once again, just sharing my own experience. This isn't for a debate for anyone. I just want to share with you guys, if you're ever curious or if you're feeling this transition yourself, there's so many people transitioning right now, which is a beautiful thing to be able to see this movement from the new age to Jesus Christ, or from whatever you were in to Jesus Christ. And it's very showing of these times. And I want to tell you guys that if you're feeling down and if you're feeling confused and misled, please explore this energy of Jesus Christ. He loves you so much, and in even just your curiosity and just praying for him to show you whatever he wants to show you, whatever that may be, I'm telling you, he will help you. You will feel his love in your life, and he will not mislead you as long as you put him before everything. All out of time, I could say a lot more, but that's my story. I love you guys. God bless you.